Okay, we are live, Mr. Didrik.
All right.
Welcome
back.
So in this session, what you see on the screen is the result of the previous episode of rendering a bookstore. So building an e-commerce storefront from scratch using Remix, React, Tailwind, GraphQL, and Crystallize. What we're going to do in this session, when I say we, I mean Didrik. We're going to see how we can implement a layout, and also we're going to do some advanced centering exercises.
I like that you call it advanced. It's just vertical and horizontally aligning stuff in CSS.
As I remember, that was the hardest thing to ever solve in CSS, right? So
yeah, we've gotten further, at least. So we can just jump right into it. So this is where we left off the last time. We prepared a couple of things for the layout, just to get some resemblance of a website and not a, what do we call it, a text file, like it still is in here.
Mm-hmm.
Well, some rendering is going on. So today we'll focus on this category page to list the books, maybe add some banners and stuff like this. We'll also hook those banners up to Crystallize, but we'll see how far we get today. But we got a lot to do, so let's just get started.
And of course, this is this typical situation where you have now, last time we prepared the layout, so it's ready to be styled, some housekeeping in terms of how to organize the code and the styling and the divs and the CSS, as we call it.
The divs and the CSS, exactly, and the components. So what we've done is a small example today as well. Did some thinking in Figma, created a kind of simple layout. On purpose, did some vertical alignment, some left padding, and some abnormal divs, basically. Just to see how we can work with that in Tailwind. We also have some custom stylings. I found some stock illustrations and logos on freepick.com. So the logo is from a user called Gavastag. And we have some books. We'll see if we use those later. Let's give credit where credit due. Anatoly and Stephanie 2212, which is an illustration. For this project, we're going for feather icons. Reasoning why is because they also have a library that we can install and which works beautifully. So let's get going. There we go. It's already running. Let's do some maintenance first, where we're going to go into the feather icons, which you can see here, feathericons.com. Get started. Then you get into GitHub. I'll go all the way to the bottom, and then you can see that they have different packages for different frameworks. We're going to use React for this one. And here we go. So let's install that. npm. To save. There we go. And there you go. So then we just need to figure out which icon to use. Let's see on the design. It was the user and the, what's it called? Shopping bag. Then, since you know that this is...
Could you make the text a little bit larger?
Of course I can. There we go. Set. Can you see now, Born? There we go. Let's go into our layout. This is the layout that we created the last time. So for this, we're going to go import. I guess it's user shopping bag from. See, here we go. From React Feather, of course. Good to remember the name.
And this is this basically importing them as components, which will render as SVGs? Is that what we end up with, or?
That's exactly what we get here. Now we have the user and the shopping bag. You can see that last time we made it ready here. User and the shopping bag. Let's end it as well. See where that got us. Maybe we should run it now. New remix map. And there we are. Vertically aligned. Yeah. So easy enough. Let's go here. Since we know that we want this on the horizontal line, let's flex here. And let's go for a gap 4. Yes, that. I think we can also go a bit further. Actually want to remove this background now. Because according to the design, it doesn't have a background. Like this. We'll then see where we got this. Okay, so we're here. Let's add a hover to it. And it's pretty cool because instead of going into the CSS class, creating the hover effect, etc., we'll just use Tailwind for that as well. So on hover, H, B, gray. And it should amount to something. Well, it didn't. That is because we also do need to see. We need to add it to the span instead.
Brilliant.
I know. It's the same start as last time with Tailwind. Just need to switch. It's of course not just H, it's hover. There we go. Oh, now we get a background. Very slim.
And now if you padding and rounded corners, is that you just add that? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. There we go. This looks better, right?
Yep.
So let's just add this to both.
And rounded MD, what does that mean in terms of the MD? What's the ratio there? Is it pixels? Is it?
It's rem, which is root pixel. So we have XS, SM, MD, LG, and XL. Okay. That's the default in Tailwind. You can also override the base size of this if you would like to, but as long as this is heavy on the project, and as long as you got something that you used to, so you know what you're going to get. You can also have fixed pixels if you would like that. But now I saw that the gap got a bit big, so we'll decrease that to 2. There we go. We'll hook those up later, but that's for, I guess, Sebastian. Let's continue. Okay, we have our bookstore logo. Beer book here. I like it.
That's an awesome logo. Did you make it all by your lonesome?
I found it on the internet at least, and I did I gave credit. Because Repic is a website where you can download stock illustrations. It is licensed, but you can also use a lot of it for free as long as you credit. We also do have a license for it. Okay, I'll go to. Actually, do need to go here. Desktop logo. We'll add it to, and of course, I forgot to create the assets folder. Let's do that as well to make it a bit cleaner. Logo. So you can see SVG. And we go in here.
And assets, is that the naming convention in Remix so that it's handling the routing, or is that just a subfolder that you will address in your app?
To be honest, it's just what I am used to. Yep. But we can ask Sebastian next time.
I like that you're creating the technical debt for Sebastian.
Oh yeah, everything. Like always. So we add it as a logo image. Important note here is that when we add a plain image like this, here is the logo. We should also explicitly give it the width and the height. Just override it with CSS if you want. set the style width 135, 31. This is good because board. If not, what do you get on web dev or PageSpeed Insight?
You get complaints.
Yes, you get complaints. And that is because Google, of course, wants to know how big that image is. And
could you please add an alt text just to be a little bit compliant?
That is true. Bear. Do we call ourselves again? Bearbook. Bearbook logo. Oh. It's also now. Let's clean up a bit because now we don't need this. As from the last time when we had a typography. And let's add the footer in the logo as well. Better. Bearbook and Bearbook. So next up, I've also found some colors that you can see in here. The way I usually do it is for creating examples and stuff like this. I use a website called colors.co, and this can help you generate pretty colors that are sticking together or that works together. So if I go like this, it will give some examples because now I locked everyone that I am going to use from the colors. But if I would like a fifth one, I could go here forever until I'm satisfied.
Nice.
So let's add these colors to our Tailwind theme. Then we go into Tailwind config. You can see last time we had black, white, and gray.
Mm-hmm.
For black, I'm going to use this one. You can also get some naming here that we could use, but since we use black for some parts of the project already, I'll just say that this is black. Because we don't want people to use the regular black either later. I'm going to call this brown. And this will be my new gray.
And of course, now you call it with names that are describing the colors, which is one approach. Another approach is doing more semantic naming, saying background, main, font color, things like this, so that you could have different styles applied. But it depends on what you're going to use it for, right? If you're going to build one custom storefront, this makes total sense. If you're going to build something that is themable to be reused across multiple projects, you might want to check the naming there.
Exactly. I went for easy solution for now.
Yeah.
Okay. We are starting to get stuff set up for our next steps, which are, let's see. I'm going to go for the styling of these books first, and then we're going to create this. Because we got to see how long it takes as well, right?
Yeah, because there's some alignment here.
There are some alignment indeed. Okay, so we have our colors inside of, let me see, routes. We have books and category. This is the page. So here we are fetching everything from Crystallize using GraphQL, and we're passing that down to the book category. Should that be? That we can do later. And here we just render it on the fly. So first off, let's make I would call it a microformat component or listing component. Let's go. We are going to extend it further down the line to maybe have documents as well. So it's good to have everything in one folder.
And microformats is basically rendering one item in a different context. So in a search list or a category listing or related products or things like this, basket, different context to view the item.
Exactly. So we're going to call it book tile for now. We're going to go book tile.
And the word tile is a little bit the naming convention that we have from the Remix boilerplate, where you have the tiles that are kind of representing an item, and they have different rendering contexts, so that it could look, full width or color background or whatever you want to render it as.
So, as always, naming is the hard part. This, I'm gonna take this here into. We're just going to do this. We'll save it for now here. And we're going to make that work later on. Here, books category. Of course, we have to import the book tile. And we have to clean up our imports, but we'll do that later.
I like that you want to clean up everything, but later.
Of course, that's for later, or for Sebastian when he comes back. Inside components, microformats, book tile. Yeah, I can clean it up now because I need some of those, right? Like this. Here we are going to show our image. We'll take the content transformer and the image from Crystallize React.js components. And we're going to take the link. Yeah. Like so. Okay, I already cleaned up board.
Very good.
See if it runs so far. Didn't look like it. Book tile is not defined. That is good. There we go. Book tile. Book tile. Components, microformats, book tile. Let's hope we make it work this time. There we go. Just didn't re-render.
Awesome.
That was the thing.
That looks great, Didrik.
Cool. Then let's take the book here. Of course, since this is inside map. Path. Let's do the path. Use path because that's unique. And we do book equals book.
And the path is the slug in Crystallize. So
Exactly.
what you use to address an item in a given language.
Guess we just name this to book. I probably don't have to rename any chaining here. There we go. Okay, so we're basically back to start, but now we isolated the concern into a microformat and a component. So what we do want to do now is to start our design, right?
And what's the if you look at the design, how would you explain this? Because you have one background, and then you have the image, which is kind of skewed. So you have like a 90% viewport width on the rounded background, and yeah, so there's something going on there. So I guess you need one or more divs to achieve this.
Exactly. So here we're just going to use HTML and Tailwind for what it's worth. We are going to add some custom CSS as well to our image component, because our image component is also a bit nested. Because you get all the semantics, you get figure, you get picture, and then image source sets and images.
And if you didn't already watch, there's a stream dedicated on the source set and image tags for responsive images, which is a skill every developer should know by heart.
Exactly. But if you break this down, it's kind of simple, because the main thing that we need, and I'm going to just show it here by using Figma. This is a container. So this will be our main container. Then you have the content inside, which I am going to use here. So this is basically the container that is going to contain all the information, the picture, and the text and prices and stuff.
But is it two containers, or is it just one with the left padding and then you adjust the image?
It is multiple. It's two nested containers. You have a div wrapping everything. Then you have a div inside again with all the content and the background.
Yeah, of course.
And then we just do a padding on the outer container, give it the same padding as we are going to give the image a negative value, and with or negative margin, basically. And with Tailwind, that is pretty straightforward. It's just use the same number or same size negative margin value as you're using padding for the outer container. So that's basically what's everything that's to it. But first off, let's take care of the image. We are going to do some, almost said random CSS, but some custom CSS to our app CSS. And this is basically what the Tailwind is listening for. It's a remix. They're building and compiling our CSS every time, checking what do we have of CSS classes in our project, cherry pick those, and compile it to a CSS. And of course, when we add stuff here now, they are going to apply that as well. So for our images, we're going to go add layer. This is Tailwind specific syntax. So we basically extend the components here.
Yeah, you should check the spelling of the components.
Probably, you know. There you go. Let's call it something like image container. That's a class name.
And basically now this is straight up CSS.
Yes, almost. I'll show why.
Okay.
Not figure, but picture. That's what we're going to use, because we can add classes or Tailwind classes to the figure of our image library. So we're just going to target the picture container. And for the picture container, what we want is to apply Tailwind. So now we can use all the classes from Tailwind.
Okay.
So also, if we do want to use object fit at a later point, we can use relative, or we'll add relative, because that's something that you need. If you are going to have object fit cover, you need to have a relative container wrapping it, and that will be the picture in this case. So that's it for that. Let's go for image container again, and then we'll target the image. The image. Apply. Now I need to go back to everything, plan ahead. So now we have the picture container wrapping the image, right? And now we want to take care of the actual image. We can see we have some drop shadow here and some border radius. So we'll add rounded MD. What's shadow? MD? That's it. And of course, I'll need to my book here. Image container. EMG container. So here we can also say class name. Full is height 100%. Okay, so it is working. If you have the rounded border now, we also have a shadow wrapping.
But now you're displaying with the full width and height of the image. So if the images are in a little bit different aspect, you get a little bit of weirdness in the display, right? Yep, exactly.
Yeah. So what we want to do is to make sure that we have some straight lines. Like we do here. Here the concern is that the image will be in the center, or the book will be in the center, but everything is aligned on the bottom since we have the box or gray background. Same goes for the left alignment here. So okay, I gotta stop clicking those. It's quite a big href. So what did I say? We want this, since this is a link, to compile into an anchor tag. So this also accepts classes, which is pretty cool. There will be some thinking, so you do the talking here now, Gord.
Okay, so now Didrik is thinking. I'm not sure what he's thinking about, but I think it's related to a div.
It is.
I guess you want the colored background with the rounded corners as a separate container in there.
Yeah. What we want is for this, since this is the anchor, we'll actually give that PL10. This will move everything to the right. So here,
padding
that's
left,
the first
10.
step. Exactly. And we have that. We're gonna leave the image container alone because let's give that one concern, and that is to wrap our image properly, or to align and stretch our image up properly. So here we're going to do ML. Minus is, oh, that sounded a bit weird probably, but what we did was to pad everything to the left. Like
and
then
ML,
that's
margin left minus 10. That's what you have. Okay.
Yeah. So minus in the start, margin left 10. Well, now I did it wrong because
that wouldn't work because you want half of the image, right? That's the padding you want.
That's exactly what we want. Here, it's getting somewhere.
And now we see an issue we need to fix with the different sized images, right? We'll get to that.
We'll get to it. Then clustering here. So we added background, we added flex to it as well. Then the image, add it back. Here we go. What we can do now is this will have the background, so we can do PY4. See, we're onto something. And this will have the rounded borders. There we go. And one thing I did forget to talk about is I like also for the book or the micro formats to not have fixed heights, because then you can put it anywhere you want and let the parent container, like here we have a parent with display grid, which basically takes care of the layout. So using grid and a fluid micro format will help you to not create as many different versions of the same component, just because this will be fluid. Okay, so we are getting there. Let's also distribute some sizing here. We want the image to be 1/3 ish, isn't that?
Is it not 50%?
50? Now we're talking about the image size of this container. So width 1/3. Closer. What you meant about 50% word?
No, because the image is centered on the gray background in the design, right? And now you have 10 rem or 10 pixels on the left padding there, which means that you have, I don't know, 30% of the image on the O, where it should be maybe on the middle B.
Oh yeah, now we're just okay on the middle B. No, now we're only talking about how big the image should be in width, and the relative container here is the one with the gray background.
What you tried to explain before that, yes. Okay.
So it's a bit confusing. I also see that the gray background here needs a H full, because now we're missing some lines. I think we are aligned.
Nice.
So this is going somewhere. Let's go back to the design, see what's going on. I see we can add some more shadow. We'll do all the smaller details later, but let's just get the first part of the layout done. Here we have a wrapper, and this is just wrapping the image, taking up 1/3 of the space with gray background. We take it to the left by adding negative values. We can also maybe add a bit more and see from the design. And then, of course, we need to pad our text out. Because now it's all the way up here. So I don't think we're going to pad PL right half. Right. And you can see we get some different spacing here and here. That's because we haven't aligned the image to the center yet.
And are you planning now to use some cover fill or something, or are you going to show the full cover but just align it center and have the boxes being the visual?
That's my plan here. Since we know that all the books is going to come in different sizes, and we want to show the full cover, let's not go for object fit container, object fit cover. I just want to center align it to our gray box now. I see that. This is the adjustments that we always need to do.
But is it possible, because this is that in pixels, that value now? That's in rem also, right?
Yeah.
Would it be possible to do, or will that be the same, to just do 50% of the image width? Or would that not be correct?
It will be bigger, because it would be 50% of the gray background here. So that will give you, I can show if we take this one to 2/3, to take the image 2/3 of the relative container, it's going to be this big, right? Because that's 50% of the container with the gray background.
Yep.
But I want it to be 1/3.
And that's the size of it.
33.
But then you have the horizontal alignment of this to get that center line of the book.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, so that's what you're talking about 50% all the time.
I'm trying. Because now you're kind of setting it in, and there's two ways, I guess. The result will be the same, but
yes, almost. If you want, we could go for another approach using translate left, 50% instead. Now I just wanted to use Tailwind, less custom CSS. So, but totally doable. Let's see about the time, if we can do it in the end. Now I just want to get the basics out there, and then we can figure out the details.
Because now the magic comes, because I see that the vertical alignment, that's off, and this is.
So now flex, put them both on the same line. Flex call. We're back to where we started, but what we can do now is justify center. Here we are, center aligned horizontally.
But not the image.
No, the image is not there yet. That's a separate concern. And that's just because now we did for the box. So what we'll need to do is go up here. If we go the image here, we can add a border. We can see where it is. So this is the container we're working with. So we can do the same here. Since it's just one element, we don't have to do flex call. And then the weirdness is that now it is items center instead of justify center.
Of course. Makes total sense.
Of course. It actually does, because you have justify center and item center. If it's in a row, then item center is on the vertical line. But if you go columns instead, all that is shifted, right? So then items center is horizontally.
Yeah.
So now, agree? Now this is in the middle.
And this is also, it's a visual trick, right? In this case, where you want to display the icon of the book, and they come in different aspect ratios. So you have to make some decisions. And in this case, it's the gray box that is the aligner.
It is. If not, we could align everything to the bottom, but at least the pricing and the text will be in the same alignment at the bottom. But let's see. Let's continue. We need some more. Text. Excel. Good. That's nice. Text. LG. Football. Is that what I had? Oh yeah, and of course, something we will take care of later, but let's add it now as a visual hint for a later stream is that we want to have discounts, right?
Yep.
So what we are going to do, you can see, we're going to go for a div once again. And this is usually my approach. I use divs for wrapping containers or to align things all the time. So there we go.
And just FYI in the background, I have added the retail and the sales price to the Hobbit.
Ooh.
So you can just, it's called sales, the price variant. So you can actually extend just the query and get the price out.
We're only using price at the moment. What we can use is price variance.
Or you can just do price with the parameter of the variant also.
We are on the default one, but let's go. Now we're going off script board.
Yeah. But this is because you typically want to have the price and it's got the parameter, right? So that you can do sales is what I can call the price. So you basically have two prices in Crystallize. You have the default. There's always a default. That's typically the reference retail. In this case, it's set in euros. And then we additionally have any number of price variants that you can add. I just added one called sales. And what is going on now is that Didrik is just adding the query to the Explorer just to show how you can figure out and debug and kind of create the query that you want to have. So here we have the just do
fantasy, isn't that?
Fantasy, yeah.
Okay. So here we have the same data.
Mm-hmm.
Here we have price, which is the default one, just in a number. Then we have price variance, currency, and price. There we go. Price variance.
And now, if you do one more, boom, because I just published it. But what you can also do is you can alias the price, and this takes a parameter, so you can define the identifier, because you can either loop over all price variants, or you can do the price on the product, and then you have the price.
This is which one? The price identifier. So
that's and then so if you say sales price colon price parenthesis identifier. No, not price variant, is it?
Is that what we agreed upon? Price variant? Not in plural, but single?
Yep.
There we go. Identifier, and then you have the default one.
No, sales, because sales. The price will be the default. And this is just to be able to pick a specific price from the query. And this is typically what you would link to if you have multiple markets, you would define prices for different markets with different currencies, and then you combine it in when you're fetching out the data.
Let's add it, since we've already done it now.
Yeah, and then you make it dynamic, because now you fetch both the currency and the price.
All right.
Yep. Then retail price and sales price. Beautiful.
There we go.
It's very handy if you don't, remember it by heart. You of course always use the Explorer with the documentation, and then you're up and running quickly with the query.
Yeah. Just like I did now. So then we can go into our book. So log it. Now we're extending it out of styling.
you are very welcome.
Thank you. Oh, we have some warnings. We'll let Sebastian take care of that. So here we have retail price. You can see that we have something in retail price, which is 23, and sales price is 0. That's because you only did this for the Hobbit, right, Bjorn?
Yeah, exactly.
So that means that's probably here. Oh, console logging somewhere else. Here, default price variant, sales price. All right, then we'll go for default. We'll go here. Retail price, isn't that what we call it? Price. Okay. Proper pricing for all the retail price, and then we go for sales price. This will break everything because some of them doesn't have it. So what we do is invoke the default variant sales price, optional chaining price.
If price is null, don't proceed.
Don't do anything.
Don't do anything.
Yeah. So there we go. You can see this one has it, but of course,
I'll do also for Game of Thrones. I'll give that a discount also.
We probably need to make a proper pricing component as well. But what we want to do is, if we want this first, so, and if it has a sales price, then we need to do something about the retail price. So,
and for this is just rendering in the front end. The actual logic, of course, as Didrik said, with the pricing needs to be handled in the basket or the service API. That's where you centrally manage all the pricing and match it typically to a market. And also, if it's B2B, B2C, if the current user is logged in, is he part of a specific user group or things like this? So it's quite flexible in terms of that. And we will get back to this topic with Sebastian on a cart and checkout stream. But for now, it's just displaying the product catalog, and then we'll get to the logic there. So, and in general with Crystallize, it's very unopinionated in terms of we just provide the prices and the markets, and then you stitch it together visually in the front end when you display the catalog, and then the service API is where you would do the actual calculation. So you can do any type of custom logic there to override prices or include logic from a third-party service, for example, for multi-regional dynamic stock location. Not stock location. I meant tax calculation. Sorry.
There you go. I also had to go into the Tailwind CSS documentation to get the proper class, which is strike through. Here we go.
And they don't use strike through, they use line through. And as you see, there's 2 books there now with the discount. And this is totally dynamic. So now I'm just adding a super discount to a book called A Storm of Swords. Then next time that should also have a discount in there. So
now we have a discount price and a proper price. And we didn't do it later, we did it now.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. It's a cool thing to just show. All right, the last thing, since we're on it and now we're diverting from styling, but it's also an important part. It is the bestseller tag here. That's also something that you want to show. Now, of course, everything will have the same because I could do it in just statically for now, before we get in any further. I guess it's that Board is working on a topic map.
I am. So I'm creating a topic map called promotions, which is in this case just labeling, and I will just say create here new, and I'll call best sellers, and I'll keep it at that. And what I'm doing also is I'll just assign the topics to the Hobbit.
Right.
And
of course.
what we also have with topics is, of course, the age restriction and the language, not age restriction, but suitable for. So what we can do is actually fetch all the topics there. So you see that it's adult, young, English, bestsellers, which is basically, in this case, labeling. Topics can be used for filtering, for faceting, and also show related books. So it's got several use cases.
What I did now was just to check what's the parent. We have one parent called name, we have languages, and promotions.
Yep.
So maybe we only want to use promotions.
I think so.
Here. It's not what I wanted. Path. I want. Okay. So for children on topics, we'll use name, last name. You know what? I'll copy paste it.
And this is, in this case, this is GraphQL, so we just wanted a little bit more data from the graph. And in this case, it's just to get out the bestsellers and to be able to label the books. And I'll label a couple of them.
That means that for each book in here, we gotta check. Promotions equals books dot book dot topics. What do you want to do this? Do it in a separate way. Fine. Topic equals topic dot parent name equals not name. We agreed on path, right?
Yep. And then it's slash copy paste.
Don't make this in the first. This is something for on the first try. Topic path. That looked weird. Topics. Oh, what did I do? Topic. Find. Topic. Parent. I need to check. It's not defined. Of course it is.
And this is just to get the debug, to get the naming. Useful when you don't remember if it's with an S or without. And
Yeah, it's because it can be C, it can be null. Because we have not applied it to it.
Yeah, it's only assigned to, I think, 3 books. Or
Looks. Ooh, what did I do? Here we go. Yep. Then were promotions. Now what we got back was objects. That's back then. It's an object. It just returns 1. You made it hard for me.
yeah, That's but I mean it's supposed to be hard, Didrik. It's craftsmanship.
That is true. Let me see.
So now you basically want to do a check if it's null or not, and then display the promotions, which in this case, I guess you just take the first because it's not really allowed with a lot of room, right? And then you see I labeled the Game of Thrones with new bestsellers for The Hobbit and the Two Towers, and also the Dance with Dragons.
Yeah. So we didn't take into account that it could be more now. It could be more than just one topic map, but that's at least we get the idea.
Yep.
Then back to what we were doing, some styling. Make it ready to have more. 3. Let's add some spacing to the bottom. Didn't look exactly like the design, but I think it's better because this looks a bit like a button. All right.
Yeah. Creative freedom.
Yeah. Decorate the design. I can do that. All right. This is looking better. What is beautiful now, since we have everything in a separate concern, the book tile is its own thing. We can say, or we can use the responsiveness of the grid, because what we will basically do here is to just decrease the amount of columns. So this doesn't care how it looks, only care about filling the container. Which means that if we go in here, I say, okay, I just want one column. We're going to have one super big book. Of course, this doesn't look that good, but get the drift. But let's say we have 4. We go, that's for, are we on an LG screen now? Yeah. MD, we go grid, calls, 3. You can see, same naming conventions for sizing, for the responsiveness. But if we start to decrease this now, it's MD should be, LG should be 3. XL is grid, calls.
And these are predefined breakpoints in Tailwind, right?
Exactly.
Which is standard. So now you're on the phone.
Yeah.
And then you can do, when you were on the phone, you can still do a little bit padding also, so that...
Yeah. Of course. So, and using some padding is always good. So for, let's go up. We do padding horizontally 0. This is mobile first. Here we can say is 4. So didn't increase any padding now, but now it's
just a little bit on that. And, yeah.
I was looking at the title. What?
It's not styled yet.
Yeah, it's not. Do you have time for styling of the?
Maybe you have.
Maybe I have. No, but I think we added upon this live stream doing some more data fetching, and that's what we get, because often the design is not exactly how we intended in the code. But then we just added it by fetching more data from the graph.
And in this context also the books or the cards, when we list out, it will be clickable. It will not be add to basket, because there are several books that have multiple variants. So that and that's of course a choice how you would like the shopping experience to be. But that will be the choice in this example. So that there will be some styling on top for the header, and then when you click on a card, you get into the book, and you will see something that it looks, well, right now looks like not very good. Because it's not styled.
it does style. But we will do this multiple times. We want to create a fully fledged e-commerce, and an e-commerce does have some styling. It looks because what we can do next time then is to do some merchandising and to show some banners from Crystallize, creating different concepts for how you can customize your categories.
And I suggest we do a dedicated stream on just the product detail page. So the product page, how can we show that with all the product information, the storytelling, the series it's part of, the authors, and all the good things that we have in the model for this bookstore. But I think this is a great step forward in terms of styling for this, Didrik. We did some magic alignment.
Yes, there was a magic alignment. There we go. Looks even better. Decrease the padding.
Yeah.
No, but I think that's a good idea. Let's not extend it too much either. We'll pick this up again at a later point. I think maybe for next time we'll see how it goes, but maybe we'll do some more checkout and cart and stuff like that.
If you have any questions or desires to what we should cover, because we will take different topics. Structured data will be one, the product landing page, the cart and checkout, etc. So let us know. And with that, I think we're between. And
yes, we are. we are between.
Next stream will be Thursday in a week.
Yeah.
So
let us know if there's any topic like Bård said. If we can time it. Maybe you're out there struggling with something. We can take that in next stream.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.